good afternoon from wherever you are. Welcome again to my YouTube channel, Zudo's African Label TV. I am going to be talking about an icon, a stallion, who was a woman of substance. She's no other person. Talking about the late Onyeka Nwenu. Before I discuss my encounter with her in the villa many years ago, I would like to talk about one or two things you need to know about her. Let's listen to her music for 1 minute while we observe 1 minute of silence for her. Welcome back again. So a very sad talk. It's not a pleasant one. We're going to be talking about Onyeka Nwenu, who died at the age of 72 years while performing at a birthday party of Mrs. Stella Okoli. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria has been thrown into mourning. I say adieu, Onyeka Nwenu, and I sympathize with family members, the two handsome sons, friends and well-wishers, members of her church, you know, those who have come across with her in one way or the other. I got in touch, or I came directly in contact with her one-on-one at the villa when we were celebrating Nigeria at 50. So most prominent women that were celebrated, I think they nominated her to play for them. Then I was director of protocol, to Women for Change, an initiative that was being piloted by the First Lady of Nigeria, our High Excellency Patience Jonathan. I will want to start by saying that her first album was produced by Sonny Okosu. That woman has been on top of the game when it comes to music. She's really an ideal legend. I started listening to her music when I was young, and I never knew that she has such a beautiful pedigree. She's really a woman of substance. I mean, I never knew she was from such a background. Her father was one of the first teachers, if not the first, in the whole of Eastern region, who went to the only university at that time in Sierra Leone. And then you also want to know that her second album that really made wave, or the one I liked, I mean, I should talk about myself actually. The one I liked, I really fell in love with two of her songs. This One Love that is playing at the background, and then You and I Will Live as One. Those were the two tracks that I really loved, and I still love it up to now. So it's sad that an icon like her we just pass without saying goodbye to the children or to her friends and her well-wishers. It's very sad, right? And you would like to know again that she performed live when Nelson Mandela visited Nigeria. So she's really a musician that, I mean, her music will live on. You know, she was good at traditional songs. She was good at traditional songs, and then she was also good at, you know, the English lyrics. She was a writer. She was an author, yeah. Later parts of her life, she wrote a book that says, My Father's Child. And she talked about it during her interview. And then it will interest you to know as well that she did her youth service at NTA. And she did a documentary that lives on. A very good documentary she did for our country, Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian by birth, Canadian by choice. So at the end of the day, Onyeka is one woman I respected so much. Not just talking to her in the villa one-on-one, or to go and hug her when she finished playing. And then again, I was interviewed for the position she had at Women's Center, at the former DG Women's Center or Women Development Center, Fatima Hassan. She was married to my husband's mate in the army, though the man is late. So she asked me to send in my CV. So I was interviewed. And the head of the panel was even Professor Asagba. Yeah, Professor Asagba of Faculty of Law, University of Benin. You know, I was so glad when I came for the interview to be interviewed as the DG for Women Development Center. So unfortunately, I did very well in the interview. The only man who could come near me at all in my scores was the coordinator for Ken Nnamani Center, you know. And then at the end of the day, they said I was still doing my PhD then. And then my professor, that was my supervisor for my PhD work, was Dr. Moti at that time, Dr. Moti of the University of Abuja. So I had to like put the PhD aside and I went to continue elsewhere. Because at that time, they said Dr. Moti is a doctor, he cannot supervise my PhD, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, it was after that our interview that Onyeka Nwenu was appointed by President Jonathan as the DG for Women's Center. So coming back to her life, her history, some things you want to know about this legend. She was not a roadside musician, and she was not a pauper. She's a woman that schooled in Massachusetts, and she also worked with United Nations at that time at a very young age, before she relocated back to Nigeria. She was married to Ogunlede, a Yoruba Muslim. Honestly, she is loved by everyone, and I mean, she's that kind of woman you can always refer to as a woman of substance. You know, you don't just call yourself a woman of substance. What legacy are you leaving behind? Onyeka Nwenu is something else. It's a big loss to our country, Nigeria. And you want to also say this about her. She wasn't a musician that would go nude before you listen to her song. She always projected African culture. If you see most of her albums, see most of her photographs, you know, she depicted I don't know, an African woman. And then she must have gotten this strength from her late dad, who was to be pronounced as minister 2 weeks before he died. The man was a teacher that was trained in the university in Sierra Leone. I think he was on his way, or he was coming back. Sorry, he was coming back from where he went to talk to teachers in Nigeria at that time. So please don't go on strike. and let us use the keyword for conflict resolution, which is dialogue. But unfortunately, he died on his way back, had an accident. So the father died at the age of 40, and then left the mother to raise 5 children on her own, and she was only 36. So I will also say she was born by a woman of substance, a widow, 36 years old woman who raised 5 children herself, and the family of the late husband was not nice to her. Well, we don't know the reason. Maybe that's their culture. I don't know. But they took everything the father ever owned. And then who will say that a widow now, in this present dispensation, will tell you that, oh, I cannot look after 5 children. So that reason I will not send them to school. I don't have money. My husband died. They took everything from me. But Onyeka Nwenu's mom, she did her best. I mean, if she wasn't there for the children, I don't think Onyeka would have become the woman she became. Sending her to US at that time to go and study is big deal for a widow who has 5 children to take care of. So she was actually born into a family of 7. Her father died at 40, and the mother was only 36 years old. And Onyeka was 4 years old when her father died. She was only 4. So her story is going to inspire a lot of women who will want to give you an excuse that, oh, I didn't see somebody who sent me to school. Oh, my father died, I was only 3 years. That's why I took to this, that's why I took to that. That's why I don't want to mention all those words, because I mean, I expect this video to inspire people. She has left a very good legacy behind. A child whose father died at age 4. But yes, she wrote a book on her father's baby. I mean, maybe her father, she barely know him, but just listening to the stories and the kind of challenges she was faced with in life, either with marriage, depression, and all other things, she just felt that she should keep her father's name. And thank God that she bear that Nwenu, and she's from Imo, though she was born and brought up in Port Harcourt, but she's originally from Imo, Irondi Izoko or something. I don't know how to pronounce it, pardon me, but I know she's from Imo. And then you still want to go further with what she has achieved. She became a gospel singer in the last dispensation. But that notwithstanding, she did a lot with music, being a Nollywood actress, being a writer. And then, like I said, mother and father lost her 5 siblings, family of 7. Mother became a widow at 36. And then she went to Wesley College in Massachusetts. She worked for United Nations for a few years, and then returned to Nigeria in 1980, served with NTA, and then she wrote an international documentary about our country, Nigeria. And then everything you want to know about her, I mean, she left a landmark wherever she has worked. She was a political appointee in Imo State. After she dared into politics, I think politicking wasn't really her thing, so she lost. But she was given a political appointment by then Ohake, Ikedi Ohake, former Imo State governor, whose wife is Barrister Chioma Ohake. So the biggest role again she played in Nollywood was her appearance in Lion's Heart, which was produced by Genevieve Nnaji. So I mean, that was the first, if not the first movie that really hit. What was the Lion's Heart?
Nigerian movie that was produced by Netflix.
Yes, first Nigerian movie that was produced by Netflix. You heard her. That's Dorian just putting a touch. My camera person, my graphics person, the person who has been behind my YouTube and everything. So she did well, and thank you to Genevieve for projecting her in the first Nigerian movie produced by Netflix, which was also premiered here in Canada, but I think precisely Toronto. So she has done well for herself. She also served as a judge on the X Factor Nigeria. She was one of the 3 judges for X Factor Nigeria. Like I said, she there into politics, but politicking wasn't her thing. For her to have lost the election, maybe the people didn't know her. They didn't know her pedigree. They were just looking at her like one musician, one Nigerian musician. You know, when we're growing up, my father was an educationist too, like Onyeka's father. My father taught most of the professors from my state today, former Vice Chancellor Oshodi. A lot of them are Wambo, late Professor Oshodi. My father taught all of them. But at my father's time, you dare not tell him that you want to be a musician. Guys, you're going to be disowned without thinking twice. And he's not going to disown you alone. He's going to add all your siblings to it. He was polygamous by nature though. I mean, we were 23 from 5 different women. So your mother or your siblings would rather beg you not to come up with anything funny. Because when Padima wants to take decision, it's for all of you together. So, I mean, he was a no-nonsense man, very stern to the core. Stern. I remember when Tony Radio saw me at General Charles Aria's dinner. He said, "Oh, General, keep clear. We are going to flog your wife here in the public." Everybody started begging. Instead of them to let me go, our former minister from Edo, joined. Former minister for works, he joined, said, "Oh, teacher me." Everybody wanted to flog me. Even late Captain Osa. They all joined together and, you know. So what I'm saying in effect is, I'm so proud. Late Captain Osa didn't know my name. I took so many Edo women to his house to ask for one favor or the other. I never asked him for anything. I don't owe him 1,000 naira for recharge card, but I was so proud of that man. The way he was sorting out our women, helping them for their NGO and what have you. But the issue is, when he sees me with teacher me, boy, yeah, it gives me joy. It gives me so much prestige. I didn't need anything from him. Just calling me over teacher me, I'm okay. So what I'm saying in effect is, if Onyeka's father was alive, I am leaving you to please drop this in my video in the comment section. Do you think Onyeka's father would have allowed her to be a musician? Hell no. A man who went to Sierra Leone to study, first teacher to dissuade Nigerian teachers from rioting or from protesting. And now this woman died a day to the national protest in Nigeria. Her father died in the course of going to talk to teachers to dissuade them from rioting. He would have been named minister 2 weeks later, but he died in a road accident. So guys, I'm just saying that the Nigeria of today is not the Nigeria of yesterday. When my daughter went for the K-Day in Canada, K-Day is a huge event. You have like 10,000 people in the bowl, in the main bowl at Rogers Place or wherever. She wore which t-shirts now? She wore t-shirts with Rema's photo. She wore t-shirt with Rema's photo. And then she's proud to associate with Rema. That t-shirt is designed by Dorian Graphic. So Canadian kids are joining my daughter to celebrate Rema. Rema that they don't know. Why? Because Rema is on top of the game. When it comes to music, he's just a young star. He's doing very well for himself. And we are all celebrating him in this Zudos African Label channel. We are celebrating Burna Boy. We are celebrating Davido. We are celebrating all those musicians from Edo that are doing very well, right? But the issue is, Rema did a very good performance recently in India, where he was paid $3 million to perform for the richest man's son's wedding, right? Though the whole money will not get to him, because I mean, he has his record label and all those stuff, but we're so proud of him. But I'm saying that in our time when we were growing up, you will not tell my father that you want to be a musician, or you want to be a footballer, or you want to be a Nollywood actress. But those are the areas that are paying today. If we had known, we would have wasted our time to go to school. I would have done well as an actress, and I would have done well as a musician or whatever. All I need to do is to just, you know, make sure that I train my voice very well. If you hear me sing now, you know that I have a very good voice. you know. So I'm just saying that time changes, and we are so proud of Onyeka Nwenu. May her soul rest in heaven. And we women, Nigerian women especially, we're going to celebrate her. As soon as they roll out the date for her funeral, we're going to organize a candlelight dinner for her here. And then we're going to do our best to celebrate her. As far as we are concerned, she left a legacy behind. Apart from being the DG for Women Development Center, I am a strong women activist. I'm a woman developer, and I do trainings on women development. I had a one-on-one contact with her, and I saw the way she spoke after doing her song in a villa. I was shocked. That was when I knew her pedigree and the kind of woman she was. A complete woman of substance. And then look at the fights she did for Chibok girls. Look at the fight she did for Chibok girls along with Obi Ezekisimi. So those are the women we call women of substance. And like I said, she didn't need to go nude to tell us what she was trying to portray.
I think one thing I really like about her is the fact that she's one of the few Nigerian artists who always carried her natural
hair, low cut.
I never actually saw her with makeup on.
Yes, very natural.
She always just looked like herself.
And if she must wear anything different, she will just do her braids. Yeah. Her nice braids.
And a lot of times she wore African braids. So she really
exactly. I mentioned that.
African beauty and excellence of the black woman.
Yes. And the issue is people must take advantage of her. Can you just show your face a bit? Make an appearance. Hello. So say that thing.
I was saying that she's one of the few Nigerian artists or Nigerian singers from that time that really always had her natural hair on. Rarely ever any makeup except maybe lipstick or like lip gloss, but for the most part she always carried her natural skin. And I saw that also throughout her time she wore a lot of African print and promoted like African fashion. So I think she was a very good depiction and epitome of black excellence and the natural beauty of a black woman.
Thank you, Dorian. So that's the woman, the brain behind my YouTube channel. She is good at stage management and she's good at production, but she doesn't want to show her face. So pardon her. People have things they have flair for, right? So we're going to stop this video here, and there's going to be a part 2 where we will organize. We're going to organize a talk on Onyeka Nwenu. We're already putting things together to promote her. I mean, just the way people will talk about Nelson Mandela, that is the way we want Nigerian women, whether in Nigeria or in diaspora, that is the way we want people to talk about Onyeka Nwenu. She wasn't just a musician, but I mean, she left a legacy behind. And I would like female politicians, whether upcoming or the ones that are already there, so just try to emulate her. Nobody is perfect, I know. I mean, the part I really want our women to emulate is look at the way she presented herself and the way she was promoting African culture. And even she died during performance. Though she died in the hospital at Radington Hospital in Lagos. But did you see that during her performance she was still wearing what we call bubu? You know, the flowing gown with her low cut. At times she would just put some nice beads on. You know, I saw one of her photos where she's wearing.
Recently, she had dreadlocks.
Yes, and even the dreadlocks was her natural hair.
Yeah.
You know, so I really appreciate her. I know that people may say, "Oh, is it now we're appreciating her?" No, I have always admired her. After I met her at Nigeria at 50, where people like Grace Alele Williams, I never knew that the first architect in Nigeria is from Edo. Even the Aso Igodalo, the mother is the first black woman to head the student union, whatever, in UK. And she was also a pump sec. I mean, long time ago. That's also the mother of the popular Aitwa Igodalo, I guess. I only know about Aso Igodalo. And I think Aitwa Igodalo is his brother or something. So what I'm saying is, you can still make your name. You can still make your name. You can leave a legacy behind in so many ways. She did so well. She had a foundation at the end, and she in her last dispensation, she was only doing musical gospel lyrics and gospel music. So I mean, please let us observe 1 minute of silence and listen to her music again before we end this video. Remember to subscribe to YouTube. Yeah, Zudos African Label TV. Enjoy her music for 1 minute. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God. Together, living in a world, struggle just in around. One love, keep us together. Can we all emulate this song? Let one love keep us together. Come on. Somebody tell me, oh why? So our non-profit hub, we're going to celebrate Onyeka Nwenu. The non-profit hub is made up of over 15 non-profits and NGOs, but our company will be anchoring it. Yamu Zudos Services Incorporation. We're going to roll out for people to key in. Yeah, Onyeka Nwenu to be celebrated by Canadian women, Nigerian Canadian women in diaspora. Key in and let's watch out for the day of the funeral so that we can organize something for her. It's worth it. She was DG Women's Center in Nigeria. Nigerian women, oh yeah, please come out. Come out, let's celebrate one of our own. Together.